Well, now I'm gonna show you how routing protocol works by connecting four routers back to back and pinging the end routers. Routing protocols are basically used when there are lot of routers and we can't statically configure routes on each of the routers. So I'm going to explain that to you now. Let me use four routers and connect them end to end. So I'm using R1, R2, R3 and R4 and I'm going to connect them end to end as shown. Fast Ethernet 0/0 of R1 and R2, Fast Ethernet 0/1 of R2 and R3, again Fast Ethernet 0/0 of R3 and R4. So if R1 wants to ping R4, the packet has to go through R2 and R3. When the packet reaches R2, it has to know that in order to send to the packet to R4, it has to send the packet via fast Ethernet 0/1. Similarly, when R3 receives the packet, it has to know that in order to send the packet to R4, it has to send its packet via fast Ethernet 0/0. Well, this work is basically done by routing protocols. Each router has a routing table which contains a set of instructions as to where the packet has to be forwarded. Uh, Now let me start all the routers and I'll show you the routing table of R1 as of now. The router is booting up. Okay, in order to see the routing table, type the command show IP route. Now since we didn't configure anything on the router as of now, the routing table is completely empty. So let us begin with configuring the IP addresses on the interfaces. As you can see, we need to configure IP address on Fast Ethernet 0/0. I go to the configuration mode, interface mode, Fast Ethernet 0/0. I bring it up and I configure an IP address of 10.1.1.1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Similarly, I go to R2 now. The router is booted up. I go to interface Fast Ethernet 0/0, bring it up and configure an IP address of 10.1.1.2 255.255.255.0. Since this interface has been connected to the interface of R1, the first three octets should be same for both of them since we used a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the other interface, bring it up and configure an IP address of 10.1.2.1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. I go to R3 now, go to the configuration mode, interface Fast Ethernet 0/1, bring it up and configure an IP address of 10.1.2.2 followed by subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Again here, since this interface is connected to R2, the first three octets of the IP address must match on both of them since we use the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. I go to the other interface, bring it up, configure an IP address, 10.1.3.1, 255.255.255.0. Now finally, I go to configure R4, I go to console, bring it up, 10.1.3.2 space 255.255.255.0. Again, the first three octets of the IP address should be same because R4 was connected to R3's fast Ethernet 0/0. Okay, now I'm done with all the IP address configuration. Now let us look at the routing table of R2. Show IP route. Here, this is the routing table of R2, and since we are not running any routing protocol as of now, you can see only the directly connected links in the routing table. Here on R2 we can see that 10.1.2.1 and 10.1.2 networks are directly connected to R2, where here the fast Ethernet 0/0 corresponds to 10.1.1.0 and the fast Ethernet 0/1 corresponds to 10.1.2.0 network. This is the same case for all the other routers. So now I'm going to introduce a routing protocol. Routing protocols are mainly divided into three categories, which are EIGRP, OSPF and BGP. EIGRP is a Cisco proprietary routing protocol and it uses a distance vector algorithm. OSPF uses a link state algorithm, which means that all the routing tables in the network will have the same entries. In case of EIGRP, each routing table will have the routing entries only for its neighbors, and you can also configure static routes where we manually give the routes. In case BGP is used only when internet service provider comes into picture. So here I'm going to use EIGRP network. So I'm going to go to R1's interface, console, and type the command router EIGRP followed by the autonomous system number. The autonomous system number just specifies that all the router belongs to one particular community or one particular company, and it is different from any other company. That's just the use of autonomous system. You can also give it different, but in that case the neighborship won't be found because they belong to two different companies. Now I need to advertise this route, the route on F0/0, which is 10.1.1.1 to all the other three routers. For that I use the command network 10.1.1.0 followed by wildcard mask. Wildcard mask is just the opposite of network mask. The wildcard mark means that the first three bits should be the same if it is 0, and the last bit can vary from 0 up till 255. Since 10.1.1.1 also comes under 0 up till 255, this network will be advertised by this router. Okay, I'm going to do the configurations on R2, R3 and R4 in a similar manner. Use the same autonomous system number, that's mandatory, and use the command network 10.1.1.0 0.0.0.255. And since there's also another network of 10.1.2.0, you use this as well. Here you can see a log message saying that the new adjacency has been formed. This is because we were already advertising the 10.1.1.1 network from R1, and since we also started advertising it on R2, an adjacency was formed between them, and now R1 and R2 are EIGRP neighbors and they can advertise the network to any other router which are directly connected to them and which has EIGRP running on it. So again I'm gonna configure EIGRP on R3. With the same autonomous system number again, followed by the command network 10.1.2.0 0.0.0.255. Well, I expect an adjacency to come up now. This is because, well, here the adjacency has come up because we had used the interface IP address of 10.1.2.1 on R2, and since we were advertising that and we also started advertising this on R3, we get an EIGRP neighborship. Now I'll advertise other network, which is 10.1.3.0, and I go to R4 now. Go to console. Router EIGRP again with an autonomous system of 100. Here I just want to tell you that if you use a different autonomous system, the neighbor won't be found because EIGRP neighborship is formed only when the autonomous system is same. I type the command network 10.1.3.0 0.0.0.255. Again I expect an adjacency to come up. As you can see over here, an adjacency has been formed. Now when I check the routing table of R1, you can see all the IP addresses or all the routes which were configured. This is because R1 had an IP address and it was advertising the IP address to R2. The R2 in turn advertised that IP address to R3 as well as R4 because the same routing protocol was running on all the 4 routers. So I'm just going to show you the routing table of R1 now. So show IP route. Well, here you can see all the IP addresses 10.1.1.0, 10.1.2.0 and 10.1.3.0. All the IP addresses have been advertised, and the symbol D here means that it was obtained via EIGRP. EIGRP is a routing protocol. So now if I want to ping from R1 to R4, all I have to do is use the command ping followed by the IP address on the interface fast Ethernet 0/0 of R4, which is 10.1.3.2. So you can see that the ping is successful because a packet was generated by R1 and it was sent to R2. The R2 looks at its routing table, and in the routing table it has been mentioned that if the destination network is 10.1.3.0, then forward it via fast Ethernet 0/1. It forwards it via fast Ethernet 0/1 and it reaches R3. Again in R3's routing table, it has been mentioned that if you want to go to network 10.1.3.0, forward the packet via fast Ethernet 0/0. It does that and finally it reaches R4 and the ping is successful. So you can see it over here. If I do a show IP route command, you can see that 2 routes are directly connected, and in order to go to the network 10.1.1.0, it has to go via fast Ethernet 0/1 and the next stop is also given. So thank you friends. This was the basic about GNS3, and if you want to know anything else, you can ping me at meetcoolkarthik@gmail.com, and you can also attend a small quiz which has been given down in the link to see your knowledge in GNS3. Thanks a lot.